and welcome. Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome along to the Helium Down Under channel. My name is Ian, and I'm going to be your host for this video here tonight, and in fact, all of the content here on the Helium Down Under channel. If it's your first time here, guys, if I could ask you right now to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you receive notification of any new content that is produced here on the Helium Down Under channel. Well, what are we all about? Well, we are focused on helium, guys. We're focused on helium, the Internet of Things, with a really strong focus and flavor on the AU 915 frequency band, also known as the ANZAC region, Australia and New Zealand. On this channel, we talk about content that is quite specific to our market, as opposed to many of the other great YouTube channels that are out there that talk about helium. Ours is focused all about us down here, down under on this channel. All right, so tonight, guys, I've got something really exciting to do. This is a first for me, and I am so happy to have the opportunity to share this with you. For anybody who has been following along, whether it be on this channel or you've just been following the AU 915 frequency band and Australia and New Zealand's journey with helium, you will know through looking at the Explorer map that our coverage down here is only a minuscule amount compared to what there is across North America and across Europe and also parts of Asia. Now, that is largely because we are a small market and there were very few manufacturers who were willing to really support and embrace the Australian-New Zealand region with a true focus. There were many of the early helium manufacturers who did actually produce hotspots for this region, but they're of course your Nebras and your racks and your Synchrobits that are well and truly right now behind the 8 ball when it comes to producing units, because they were just so overwhelmed with such large orders coming out of the primary markets of North America and Europe. We were not getting any service over here whatsoever, and things were looking pretty dire for us growing. I was following along with the HIP19 status checker, a spreadsheet that was put online by the DY group and by a group that is now known as the Manufacturing Oversight Committee, or the MOC. Following along with that status checker, and approximately 3 months ago, a new manufacturer popped up on there that had expressed an interest to produce units and were willing to ship units to the Australia-New Zealand region, and that company was Lynxdot. Now, very early in the piece, I was actually able to secure a small amount of time on the phone with one of the founders of the company and the owner and manager of the company, who is Adrian. Now, I spoke to him on the phone. I've also spoken to him via other internet web chat functions, and developed a real rapport with Adrian and his team. And they recognized that Australia was a region that needed some assistance to really grow their network. So I made a pledge to him that if he was to support us, that we would in turn support him. And I'm so happy, guys, that right now, if you were to place an order with Lynxdot today, and today's date, incidentally, just to put some perspective in, it is the 21st of September. Right now, if you were to place an order, you would not be receiving your hotspot until probably into the new year, January sometime, because I think we're up to batch 3 now. We may even be up to batch 4. So guys, Australia really have embraced Lynxdot, and Lynxdot have really met all of the promises that they made to us that they would deliver the items to Australia. Now, the first batch will be arriving in full. You'll see this video in a moment. I do explain a little bit about how we've actually managed to have a box to unpack for you live on the video right now when everybody else is still waiting. So guys, whilst I do obviously thank Adrian for making this available to me, I can tell you up front, guys, I did pay for this. I paid full price, but I've just received it a week or two earlier so I could produce this content to get the word out there to Australia and across the world of Lynxdot, because I do believe this is the first unboxing video, which is very exciting. But I've already recorded the video and I'm about to mix it in with this, so I won't cover a lot of the material that I've already said in there. All I'll say, guys, is remember, hit the thumbs up button if you see any great content in here. And please, if I could ask you to subscribe to the video, especially if you are down here in the ANZAC region. I know that the videos get a lot of coverage, but when I go and look at the facts and the figures behind it, I find out that most people are actually not subscribed to the channel. If I could ask you to subscribe, it's totally free. You won't get spammed. You will just get notification when a new video is put up online. So with that, guys, I tell you what, let's get into the content right now and let's check out the hotspot. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, well, welcome along to the very first unboxing video for the Linxdot Helium hotspot. I would like to first of all sort of thank Adrian and the team over at Lynxdot for making this hotspot available to me. As most of you, and especially those here in Australia, will know, is that you're probably going to be watching this potentially before batch 1 of the AU915 batch is actually shipped to us, of which I actually do have a couple of hotspots in that batch as well. But I was talking to Adrian about how I would love to, for Australia to be the first region to actually be able to unbox a hotspot, and how here on the Helium Down Under channel that it would just be such a blast to in fact be the first unboxing video of their hotspot. And well, Adrian was very, very obliging and actually put together a very special shipment of this hotspot for me, put it into a FedEx and shipped it over, and it arrived today. In fact, 4 days earlier than what I had expected. It was only shipped, I think, last Thursday. So it's like 4 or 5 days to go from the other side of the world. It is just remarkable. But anyway, guys, I know you're all probably very keen to have a look at the Linxdot hotspot and see what makes it tick. But of course, like all unboxing videos, we need to talk about the construction of the box for starters. And I can tell you that it is a very, very nice box. It's a very, very sturdy box. As I mentioned, it was shipped by FedEx, and it was inside an external shipping box, which was very well padded and actually took a considerable amount of time to get into. So there is very little chance of your hotspots being damaged or tampered with during freight. Okay, so our Linxdot hotspot. Let's have a look at this baby inside. How exciting is this? My goodness. All right. So there we go. We'll move the box to one side. Here is the Linxdot hotspot. Our little beauty inside the case. We can sort of see already that that the items inside the box will not be moving around. So damage to them, as I say, through shipping is highly unlikely. Okay, let's move this out. We'll move that to one side. And we'll also take our second packet here. Now there's the box. Now you'll notice that on the back there's nothing on at the rear here. I'm not sure if you can read that. I can't get it focused in there, but it just basically says 865 megahertz or 915. Now in this particular case here, there doesn't seem to be any indication about which one it was. So I'm hoping that it's a 915. I'm quite certain that Adrian would have made sure it was the correct hotspot. Okay, so here we go. Make sure to spin this around the right way. So the Linxdot hotspot. Now we want to look at this in all of its glory here by removing this so we can see the nice shiny top. And but what I can already tell here, guys, is that my webcam up here is going to be reflected really nicely off the screen. So I apologize for that in advance. This is only my second unboxing video, the first of which was the rack hotspot. Which has not even been edited and uploaded to YouTube yet. So, but this particular video is going to be getting pride of place because Adrian and the team at Lynxdot have done such an outstanding job to get this done for us. So let's peel this baby back. All right, have a look at that beautiful, beautiful mirrored top. One thing that already sort of strikes me is that this is in a very attractive hotspot compared to the only other hotspot that I've ever seen, and that is a rack hotspot, of which I do have here. The rack hotspot, very, very functional and almost industrial in design. whereas that is a complete contrast to the Linxdot Hotspot, which is really probably more designed to be placed in your house or your residence or your bedroom in a private place where it is going to be seen. So I guess that is why so much effort has been put into making this a very attractive unit. However, size-wise, dimensions, we've got to mention, I wish I had the rack here beside me. I have not seen any of the other units, Nebras and the likes, or Heltec. I have not seen those personally yet, so I'm not entirely certain of the size, but I do have a sneaky suspicion that the Lynxdot is going to be considerably larger size-wise, dimensions to the rest of them. Okay, on the top here we have some lights that we will see shortly as we light the unit up, or rather as we turn it on. Let's have a look on the side. What have we got here? Let's spin that round that way. Okay, so we have got our RP SMA female connector here. Now inside this box we'll have a look shortly, but I do believe that's where the antenna is. We'll come to that. We also have the area that I can only assume is a reset function. We have our LAN cable, or rather our LAN port for the Ethernet cable, micro USB, and DC power. Now the one thing, let's actually open this up just to verify and make sure that it's not in there. Let's check this out. Okay, as expected, here's our antenna. It's probably the only time that I will ever use this antenna is tonight whilst I'm syncing this hotspot to the blockchain. After that, this will be put back into the box and saved for a rainy day, because guys, as with all of the hotspots, unless you live in a multi-story apartment complex, the antenna that are with these hotspots, whilst they are obviously they're functional, they really are not going to see you get the best returns. Okay, so here we go. For us here in Australia, you will probably recall, for Australia and New Zealand, that our batch 1 was delayed behind the UK and the US. And this little device here, the AC-DC power adapter, is in fact the reason why there was a delay. Because for those that are not in Australia or New Zealand, you'll probably automatically recognize that we have a different plug to all of you, and our power is in fact 240 volts. Now the US, I believe, is 110, and they have a totally different looking plug, as does the UK. So this is our power adapter. On the back it has a light, and it obviously has the plug to go into the unit. So let's move that to one side. Let's get the antenna out so that we can have a look at that. The antenna, much the same as the antenna that comes with the rack that I have seen. It does have a hinged device so that you can in fact put that on the hotspot and just have that sitting on a shelf or a ledge perhaps, and the antenna is going to be vertically polarized, meaning that it is up and down or vertical. You would not put it in a horizontal fashion like this unless you were going to stand the hotspot on its end, because it's very important that the polarization of the antennas is always vertical. All right, let's have a look at the back. Let's see if there's anything else that we missed here before. Let's spin that around. So we've covered that side. What about here? Nope, there is nothing else. What about the front of the unit? Nope, there is nothing else. And to the other side, no. On the rear of the unit, okay, well, for starters, I can see a love heart there over the 915. There's our two frequency bands, and I've got a love heart, so I'm assuming that means that they love sending this to AU 915. And maybe that's actually not a love heart. Maybe that's an A. I can't really tell. Either way. But here we have on the back, we notice there is a lot of vent holes to allow good airflow within the unit. And there is also two hooking type mechanisms that you could hang this on a wall or in an enclosure. It also has obviously feet here, which is designed for sitting more on a desk type application. All right, let's put our external antenna into into the unit. Screw that in there. Fantastic. We fold that up. So this would be obviously simulating a desk type or a window ledge. We also want to plug our power point in. Now, I will say that this is a very, very short power lead. I suspect that's only approximately half a meter, if that. So do be aware that you are going to need to get an extension lead in order to probably get your power close enough. So let's plug that into the DC. And it just so happens that I did get myself a power cord at the ready. So there is a light that comes onto the rear of the power supply. Now let's just give this a moment and see if anything happens here with our lights. Now, whilst we are waiting for the lights to actually go on, I don't know, folks, if you've noticed something that maybe you would have anticipated that there being in the box. The Linxdot Hotspot, like all hotspots, are quite a simplistic device, and there is not a lot to them. And in fact, all of the setup instructions are contained within the Helium app on your mobile device when you set it up. But the one thing that I do notice is missing from inside the box, and also missing from their website, is some form of instruction manual. Now, it's possible that because this was an advance shipment to myself here in Australia, that maybe an instruction manual or instruction sheet, it probably doesn't warrant a full instruction manual, but maybe an instruction sheet was not placed into it, which maybe would be on further ones, or perhaps it is something that at this stage has just been a bit of an oversight. So I guess my only feedback to Adrian and the team at Lynxdot is some form of instruction sheet would be, I believe, not out of place, and if not, in the unit itself, to actually have on your website so that that can be downloaded. I have had a look through the website, and unfortunately I could not find it. So if it is there, it's hidden very well, or I was just having a man look and I just missed it completely. So there you go. As you can see, the lights here are, one of them has changed color to blue, and we've got white. Now, I'm not entirely sure what the colors of the lights actually mean, because as I mentioned, there is no instruction manual there to be able to reference. I likewise don't obviously have this hooked up to a LAN cable or to the Wi-Fi at the moment. I will be taking this out of my office and taking it to where the LAN cable is, and I will be plugging this and commencing the sync process. And probably the most exciting component of originally syncing a hotspot is to identify what it is called on the blockchain. So once I actually upload this, I will put the name of the hotspot into the comments so that you can actually watch the journey of this hotspot as it continues its growth here in the AU 915 region, the ANZAC region. It will not be housed here at my house because I already have one hotspot here, which is my rack, which is on my external enclosure outside. So this particular unit here will be hosted at another Helium member who has got his order in. So it will be a temporary placement there, probably for a couple of months until his order arrives from his company. It's not actually a Lynxdot order. I believe he has a Nebra order in batch 5. So goodness knows this could be at his place for many months to come yet. But nonetheless, I'll put the name in it so that you will be able to track the journey of this hotspot on the ANZAC AU 915 frequency band. All right, guys, I don't think there's much else that I can really tell you about this particular unit. If there is, I will. If I think of something, I'll maybe put it into the comments section afterwards. Very, very simple unit, guys. My general impression, for starters, very, very attractive. Would definitely not look out of place on a desk or a window ledge. It is very, after the let's say, I'm going to use the term nightmare story that I saw from some of our Australian New Zealand colleagues as they received their first batch of Nebra, where their ports were loose and things rattled. Guys, have a listen to this. The only thing you can hear rattling right now is the cable hitting the back. The antenna port, I can I can turn this around and nothing gets loose. Guys, the workmanship on the Lynxdot, as compared to the Nebra unit, is really chalk and cheese based on what I'm seeing. Now, I'm not going to be opening the lid of this particular Lynxdot, so I can't tell you what it looks like inside. But my first impressions from this unit, guys, is I would be very, very happy and very proud to have this showing in my house. And I'm going to be even prouder once I have a 5.8 dBi external antenna plugged into the rear of it, and it's on the blockchain, and it is out there witnessing and the like. So, guys, hopefully you have got something out of this. Hopefully you have enjoyed the unboxing of the Linxdot Hotspot. Hopefully it has maybe answered some questions that people have been wanting to have answered because they haven't been able to see one themselves. Well, now you have seen one as best as you can whilst you are waiting for your hotspot. So let's just unplug this for a moment so that all those lights stop flashing there. I guess the only feedback for the top here is that if you do have this at home, I can already see that, man, oh man, that nice glossy screen up there is going to be an absolute fingerprint magnet. But I can tell you that in most cases, I suspect these will be put on window ledges and the likes. It probably won't be pride of place on somebody's coffee table. There we have it, guys. The Linxdot Hotspot from our good friends Linxdot over in the UK. Adrian and his team, thank you so much, my friends, for getting this to me, and thank you for supporting the ANZAC region as promised with the units that we so desperately needed over here. Okay, with that, Helium Down Under out.